So, Rossi 11, I was not fortunate enough to draw this character off my first set of pools, but we can take a quick look at the overview, relic abilities, and talent tree. So, really, all the stuff we want to look at anyway, we just won't be able to test it specifically. For weapons, we're going to have a bow and auto crossbow. I think it's pretty clear that you're just going to want to use the Mahama Yuri. If you do not have this crossbow and you'd rather use the Trinity Ghoul, I think that's okay, but I think this exotic is by far the best exotic in the game. And if you don't have one, you should go farm break in, get yourself some copies, upgrade it. It's good on Ningfei and it's going to be good on Rossi 11. Otherwise, for the other two mythic crossbows, I'm not even going to bother looking at them. They're both not that good. They're both not even close to the exotic. With these crossbows, it feels like you don't even have another weapon. These crossbows don't even feel like heavy weapons. For the bow, we have the exact same options as Hellhast. You're going to be looking at either the Yashimoto or the Trinity Ghoul. I just cannot see the Trinity Ghoul being better than the Mahama Yuri. Even in terms of AoE, the crossbow has a little bit of built in piercing when you're firing while not aiming down sight. For relic abilities, Rossi 11's passive Ionic Protection. When any of Rossi 11's abilities hit targets, they grant 1 point of passive energy up to a maximum of 9. Passive energy is converted into an overshield at a 1 to 40 ratio once every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So basically, as you hit enemies with your abilities, you're going to build up passive energy. Every few seconds, based on how much passive energy you have, it will be converted into an overshield. For signature 1, Rossi 11 throws an arc orb forward. Once it hits a combatant or terrain, it will pull in and inflict confined on nearby enemy combatants, then generate a a arc cage, an arc cage that blocks incoming projectiles. So we once again have this confined debuff, and it's also going to block incoming projectiles. So it's a bit like a Yolder bubble, except it doesn't give you overshield and it stuns the target. For signature 2, Rossi 11 launches an arc thread, dealing damage to combatants it hits and granting Rossi an overshield. So we're already seeing a lot of overshield generation, and this stacks with the passive. The super photoelectric gate. Rossi 11 builds a photoelectric gate before them that blocks incoming damage. Using the super again will launch the gate forward, dealing damage to combatants. For weapon mastery. Whenever Ionic Protection performs an energy conversion, so the passive, it will also grant Rossi 11's bow and auto crossbow 1 stack of weave up to 3 stacks. When shots hit targets, they consume 1 stack of weave to generate a lightning strike, dealing 260 arc damage to combatants within a 2-meter radius. This would appear to be similar to Ning Fei's Arc Overload, except it's triggered based on Ionic Protection, giving you Overshield and not just using your signature abilities. Level 2 increases the damage by additional 30, level 3, additional 60, and level 4, when 0255 automatic crossbow shots hit. I'm assuming this is a typo, but we'll just say when automatic crossbow shots hit, they instantly trigger Ionic Protection, consuming passive energy to grant an overshield and instantly converting it into an Iron Cascade Lightning Strike. This just makes your automatic crossbow trigger your passive and your abilities instantly. So you're going to instantly get overshield and you're instantly going to get Ionic Cascade, which is going to give you weave, which is going to give you AoE arc damage. And level 5 increases this damage by an additional 100%. For Relic 1, Thread Flow can now over-penetrate combatants. So this is going to be your Arc Thread. Relic Trait 2, Ion Accumulator. When the Photoelectric Gate takes damage, it will generate 1 additional passive energy for Rossi 11. This effect has a 1-second cooldown. It's going to be generating you additional passive energy. So you're going to be getting more Overshield. Relic Trait 3, Deep Sea Breathing. When Rossi 11's health is below 50%, scanning an Overshield will also heal them for 50% of the Overshield's health. So this is just going to help restore your health if you gain Overshield while you're missing health. So at face value, it would appear that Rossi 11 is an Arc Yolder type. Very tanky, lots of Overshield generation, bit of AoE damage, and the confinement status effect. We have yet to see just how good confinement is, but I don't think it's going to be anything game breaking. For Rossi 11's talent tree, level 1, when the thread flow passes through Arc Cage, so when you use your thread while you have your other ability down, it will activate the Arc Cage to trigger an Arc Explosion, dealing X amount of arc damage to combatants within a 6-meter radius. This effect can trigger once per use of thread flow. So this is just going to give you a bit of AoE damage if you chain your abilities together. Level 2, casting Thread Flow grants allies within a 10-meter radius an overshield equal to 50% of Rossi 11's overshield lasting for 6 seconds. So this is just going to allow you to get a little bit of team overshield when you use your Thread Flow. Level 3, Pulsing Current. The health of the overshield provided by Ionic Protection is increased to 100%. This is just going to be buffing your passive, going to make your overshield bigger. Level 4, Photoelectric Gate gains 50% increased movement speed and damage. So your ultimate is going to be pushed faster when you repress your ultimate key, and it's going to do more damage. Level 5, the Arc Cage health is increased to 100%. So this lets us know that the Arc Cage can actually be broken if it takes enough damage, and this would appear to double its durability. Level 6, Thread Burst. When the Arc Cage or Photoelectric Gate is present, the number of arc threads launched by thread flow will be increased to 6. This is going to increase the threads of your thread flow up to 6 whenever either your other ability or super are used. Once again, I don't really think any of these talent trees are too crazy. I think they're all kind of good. I'm not currently seeing any big breakpoints, and it looks like we don't get any additional charges on Rossi 11 for any abilities from the talent tree. Probably the best breakpoint on Rossi is going to be this talent 2, where you can gain it, where you can give overshield to your teammates. But I really don't think too many characters struggle that hard with survivability. I think a lot of characters either have built in sustain or they can get it from their artifacts. So I think both of these characters are trying to fill a gap that we don't currently have. Maybe coming up, they'll nerf self sustain and characters with heal abilities will be more useful. But this gives me the impression of Yolder with precision weapons and arc. So we'll see if this appears later on in any in-game content, and some of the base numbers are just that broken. But I don't see Rossi being much more than a cool character that's fun to play. Very tanky, has piercing weapons, a little bit of AoE, and a mini arc overload from Ning, and gets to use Ning's crossbow. All right, editing corrupt here. I just wanted to further elaborate on what I think about the new characters. I don't think the characters are bad. If you don't currently have a strong character, especially arc or precision, they are completely fine to build. I just don't think they're the best use of hard to obtain materials, such as incandescent clusters, just because of how the new content has been rotating. For example, Ningfei has obviously been good at everything since the crossbow came out. I even did my eternity clear for arc precision on him and still passed the time. Offense characters have the luxury of being able to brute force a lot of the content right now. But that being said, if these characters call to you, go for it. However, I don't think their talent trees are as good as some other characters, like Estella, for example. So unless you have the resources to spare, I wouldn't recommend trying to pull 6 copies. My current theory on the next cycle of modifiers is that Spread is going to come back. Rossi 11 will be able to manage however long Ning Fei does, just because the crossbow getting 4 bolts allows you to take down all the Shinkas. Hellhest, however, on double precision may struggle when precision's out of the rotation, just like how Tan 2 has been almost useless until now. All in all, just take a look at your roster and spread out your upgrades so you have coverage no matter what we get in later cycles. That's going to be all for me. I hope you enjoyed and maybe I helped you with your progression going forward. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.